All right, good morning, guys. Time is 7:05. We're doing another live stream to the 10 News app, to Facebook, to YouTube, and other streaming platforms on Roku. So a lot of ways that you guys can watch us here this morning as we get started with another Weather Authority alert day, but this one's different than yesterday. You know, yesterday was for the heavy rain, the flood potential, the localized wind damage, the severe weather that we had, and there was a lot of it, and it wasn't just for us, right? When you look at these storm reports, it's all up and down the East Coast. I mean, I remember posting yesterday about this storm and just being like, this thing is huge. It was stretching from Florida with a line of thunderstorms to snow in the north to more wind damage in the northeast and New England. It was a massive storm. We'll get to some of its leftover impacts, but as you guys are kind of coming in, I'll share something I found was pretty interesting on the back edge of this. So this is a picture that Alicia in Christiansburg sent to us through Pin It. If you have pictures, by the way, WSLS.com/pin it. Yeah, that's the URL, WSLS.com/pin it. So anyways, Alicia sent us this picture, and if you guys aren't familiar, these are called mammatus clouds, and they often will form on the anvil or the outer edge of a rain system or a thunderstorm. And what you get is rain that's falling, but it's evaporating as it does so. So it causes these little bubbles, these little pockets and pouches, and they're called mammatus clouds. So Alicia in Christiansburg really getting a great shot there, something that you usually see with severe thunderstorms in the summer. We got about 1 to 4 inches of rain across the area yesterday. It was quite a bit. River levels starting to recede in Roanoke very gradually this morning, but the low water bridges are flooded over right now. In Danville, the river continues to rise, so you may see that approach the Riverside Shopping Center later today. And then in South Boston, the Dan River may approach Highway 501 at some point tomorrow. These are all the latest estimates from the National Weather Service in Blacksburg. They have a hydrologist that will put out these river forecasts, and we're just kind of passing along that information to you guys. I will say, so I've been doing this for about 10 years now, and yesterday was the weirdest day that I think I've covered, that we had everything from ice and snow in the Highlands to a couple tornado warnings yesterday, to flooding, and to have that all in the same area, it was kind of a mind game, if I can be honest with you. You kind of go between different styles of forecasting and everything. It was definitely, it was a weird one. Today's not as weird, though. There we see some scattered snow showers trying to move into portions of Allegheny County. Most of the snow today is going to target our western slopes, but yeah, a few flurries here and there in the New River Valley and the Highlands. Not expecting a whole lot of accumulation out of it, but we're on the colder and windier side of the system. So again, this is great for some ski resorts, especially Snowshoe. Coming up on a holiday weekend, we'll get more rain Friday, but looks like more snow up that way towards Snowshoe Saturday. And the wind Saturday is going to be brutal again. I'll just be completely honest with you. Most of us outside of the mountains aren't going to see anything as far as snow is concerned today. These are very kind of typical scattered bursts, something that we've gotten used to here over the past several weeks. But because the rain has soaked the ground now, we're at 1 to 4 inches of rain is what we saw yesterday. It kind of compromises our root systems a little bit when you have wind coming in, and wind gusts will continue this morning at about 30 to 45 miles per hour. So there's the potential for some power outages. In fact, I think I have that pulled up on a different computer that I've got routed into this one. So yeah, an estimated 1,500 without power in Floyd County, and then you see several hundred outside of that. So there's more than 3,000 estimated without power in our area right now. And a lot of that more than likely has to do with the combination of the wet ground and the wind that's coming in. So something to at least keep in mind. It's not going to be necessarily a widespread thing, but it is worth noting that there's power outage potential today, even though we're dry and we're not tracking storms. It's just the wind and the wet ground. And you can see that the wind will continue to range between 30 and 45. Your wind gusts, I should say. That's what's in the yellow here. And that'll continue up until about 1 or 2 p.m. And then after that, gradually drop off. Nita, with all the rain we got, how much snow would that have been? So if you take 1 to 4 inches of rain, and you have to now assume, let's assume that the air temperature would have been 32 or right around that. that would mean that for every 1 inch of rain, that is the equivalent of 10 inches of snow. So assuming that, it would be 10 to 40 inches. Could you imagine if we were forecasting 10 to 40 inches of snow and giving you a range like that? But that's what that moisture would equate to. Again, if the air temperature were about 28 to 32, that ratio kind of changes depending on air temperature. Like if it's really cold, you get that light, fluffy, kind of powdery snow. So that would change the ratio. I think at that point it would be like for every 1 inch of rain, it's 15 to 20 inches of snow. So there's a lot of math that goes into it. But if you were to kind of take an assumption there, it would have been 10 to 40. And you're thinking along the same wavelength as I am there, Nita, because I was actually thinking before I got on here, I've got to make a graphic that shows that, because that's one of the #1 questions we get in the winter when we get these heavy rain events. Today, 30s and 40s for highs. Temperatures are pretty much going to stay steady from start to finish today. But once the wind drops off tonight, we'll be at about 25 to 30 degrees. The wind woke me up like 2 or 3 times. The wind and the cat overnight just would not let me sleep. So hopefully we get a better night of sleep tonight as the wind will calm down 25 to 30 degrees. But for those of you with pets, I think you feel my pain when I say that you don't necessarily sleep through the night. Thursday, sunny in the 50s. Gorgeous out there. Tomorrow is going to be a really, really nice day. I'm already planning on taking a walk. Christine is saying same here. Yeah, I don't know if it was the wind or the pet or both for you, but yeah, for me it was kind of that double whammy. So we'll hope for a better night tonight. Friday morning, we'll see clouds increasing. At this part of the live stream, we're going to talk about our next storm system. And you see that right over Arkansas, Tennessee. Let's go ahead and draw that out. So you've got this frontal boundary that's right here. And so what you're going to get out of that is the warmer air to the south, and you've got some colder air to the north. Now, this is not going to come in at a time that would necessarily produce severe weather, or pardon me, winter weather, but it does come in at a time where we have to watch any storms that ride along this front because they may try to spin, kind of like they did what was it, just yesterday with the couple of tornado warnings that we had. So let's kind of play this out a little slowly for you. Really? Come on, graphic. There we go. Good job. After 3 or 4 p.m., we'll start to see some rain pushing into the area Friday. And you see some of those heavier pockets once again riding along into the east of the parkway. And by the evening Friday, could be looking at a few stronger thunderstorms that try to come in. So let me show you the outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, this avocado-looking thing. You've got the orange-brown color there. That's a level 3 risk of severe weather. That's the second in the Carolinas this week. You expect that in April and May, not necessarily in January. But that's where the highest threat for severe weather will be. It'll extend a little bit farther to the north. So as I zoom into our area and kind of block out the noise there, you see the threat for stronger thunderstorms Friday evening is mostly going to be east of the Roanoke Valley, and a slightly higher threat as you head into Southside. So again, kind of a wacky and weird pattern for January to be talking about severe weather potential, not just once, but now twice. This is going to be the second one in a span of 4 days. So again, Friday evening would be the time frame for that. Let's talk about what's to come beyond that. Looks like a blast of colder air. So this storm system actually kind of serves as a pattern reset. And you see on the left-hand side of your screen there, it's obvious we're going to be hit with some cold air this weekend and into next week. And there's some speculation there might be a storm system that tries to get going Monday night into Tuesday, which if that were to be the case, then yes, we would have to entertain the possibility of some winter weather. But you've got to have multiple pieces come together in order for that to happen. I'm not going to show you data right now because the data's garbage at this point. When you're looking at stuff 5 to 7 days out, we've got to learn our lesson here that you can't talk about it too much too soon. That you can give the general idea, but promising specifics about something 5 to 7 days away is kind of silly, in my opinion. So, yes, Monday night into Tuesday, we'll watch. We'll see if anything comes to fruition. But we still have today's remnants, Friday storm system to get through. So I kind of want to take things one day at a time, one storm at a time, because if we start talking about 3 at once, it's just going to cause confusion, and we don't want to go doing that. So to Alessandro, to answer your question there, I really, quite honestly, cannot tell you. if it's going to be all snow next week. And I think that's okay. That's understandable. That's something 5 to 7 days away. You don't have all the answers. So, yes, it will be cold. I'm confident in that. I am not as confident in whether or not we get a storm system, just because, again, you have to have the northern piece of the air pattern and the southern piece kind of mesh together to really create that chance. But looking at some data right now, it doesn't look like anything earth-shattering at the current time. But we'll watch Monday night into Tuesday just as a precaution. For today, our alert day is still in effect, mostly again because the combination of the wind and the wet ground leading to power outages as we speak. And there may be some more through the first half of the day. Tomorrow, again, is gorgeous, especially by recent standards. 56 and sunshine in the Roanoke Valley. I'll take that any day in January. A nice reset for us. But more rain on the way Friday. Possibility of some stronger thunderstorms east of the Roanoke Valley. I'll talk with the weather team today. I would imagine we'll issue an alert day for Friday, but we haven't just yet. And then Saturday is going to be very windy once again, west slope snow, and there's your blast of cold air. Tuesday and Wednesday mornings next week, we'll have some teens, maybe even some single digits in parts of the area next Wednesday morning. So this is a very active pattern. It's throwing a lot of different things our way, but nonetheless, we've got you caught up on the details as we learn them and as we know them and as we figure them out. Those are all on WSLS.com, our free weather app, social media, you name it. We've got you covered here in the modern day technology of 2024. Time now 7:17. We've got an update coming up at 7:26 on the Today Show. Those will be running every half hour. And I believe it is Marshall who's going to be with you guys at noon. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. Stay warm, and we will talk to you guys very soon. Have a great rest of your day.